Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to my sketchbook. Tomorrow, that's my buddy Neville also reminding me of what's happening. So this is an older game, and that is one of the things that I'm going to kind of use to reference something fun. So June 13th, there's a new movie coming out, partially live action, computer generated stuff. But you know, a great place to start your adventure? Oh, and I should say, this is in no way a sponsored video. But anyway, if you want to start your adventure for how to train your dragon, go to this place. You see this? This is a Burger King crown. And you know, you can just go in there, order up a tasty flame broiled burger, and they'll give you a crown. Yeah, it's true. As remarkable as that is, I have more than a couple of these things around. So get a look at this one. Here's another Burger King crown. Pretty cool. They even do, like, you know, Halloween versions of them. So you can get one that looks like that. One that looks like this with spooky ghosts, like ghost peppers. That's kind of neat. And they also do other movies and stuff. So if you saw Kung Fu Panda 4, you can get that. And this. But of course, this is not what we're talking about. We're talking about how to train your dragon. And this is the latest crown that you can get from Burger King. And again, I said this is not a sponsored video, and I can prove this is not a sponsored video. The vast majority of stuff that I can get there gives me diarrhea. So if I'm being sponsored, shame on them, I guess. They're not sponsoring me. But I also have this frightening, awesome thing, which is amazing, I guess. There was a time where, you know, they were doing this promotional thing for, you know, you can just be a king, and there was this guy that was standing outside your bedroom offering you a croissant sandwich. Anyway, so that's kind of nightmarish. Anyway, back to how to train your dragon. Yeah, I do have this video game. When my nieces and nephews and stuff would come over to play video games and stuff like that, they would play games like that. So I'm going to set that aside, and what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to try to draw at least my version of this. And I don't know as much about these creatures as other people would. I've seen the movies. I didn't see the latest one, obviously. I do know that this is a Night Fury, and that this is Hiccup, and this is Toothless. Beyond that, I don't know if I can get that deep into the lore of it. At Universal Studios' new theme park, Epic Universe, they have a land that's set up based on that intellectual property, or IP, as you know, some of the other hooligans might say. So let us get to work on this and see what we can come up with. So again, not sponsored because of tummy grumblings from Burger King and their flame broiled whatever creatures. So let's see what we can do here. That doesn't sound very nice. I love Burger King. Burger King is awesome. Let's see if we can focus on this pen, because I have a tendency to let things look blurry because I lock down the screen too early. Hopefully that's better. I'm going to kind of treat the head of this creature a little bit differently, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch rough shapes first, and then I'm going to blur it with water, and then I'll add details back in after. if that makes sense. So we'll see how this goes. And this could be terrible, but I'm willing to let that happen. Now, in my mind, the Night Fury is a little more like a salamander and a snake than it is a dragon. But, you know, I wouldn't have called that thing a dragon if I was told, oh, by the way, that is not you know, that's a dragon. I would have sort of chuckled at that. I don't really think it looks that much like a dragon. So this is the sketching portion, or as I would like to call it, a bit of a mess. And like I said, I have plans here of what I'm going to do to fill in a couple of things. And if I don't like it, that is okay. I don't know how many of you have seen salamanders in person. But to me, that's what this creature is. It's kind of a Muppety mouth. And yeah, I don't know. A salamander. Now, that doesn't quite have the personality that I want it to yet. I think that's going to be sort of the main theme of what I got going on with this. I have a bunch of those crowns around, which is funny. And there's even one that has like a list of rules that say, you know, how to deal with, or how to be the king. Doesn't matter gender. Anyone can go in and become the king. But anyway, some of the funny rules that was applied to it was that you could have control of the remote. You could call seats, stuff like that, which is kind of funny. And if there's more than one king, then you know, you might have to flip for it, or play rock, paper, scissors, or something like that. So I'm going to kind of do this in fun little stages. This Night Fury. And I intentionally didn't put incredible detail in it because I knew that I was bringing out a paintbrush and this detailer with water, I should say. So I'm doing this part first. And it's pretty messy looking. don't really like the mouth, that's okay. I can change certain parts of that. Next, I dip my pen, and I'm going to, you know what, I mean, based on this, yeah, well, I'm going to change a little bit of that. It'd be funny if I gave him a Burger King crown now, wouldn't that be hilarious? In a lot of ways, he looks a little bit like one of the beasts of Where the Wild Things Are. Of course, we're going to get at that as well. Poor flying salamander guy looks kind of rough right now. We'll dip that pen. Dip the pen again. We don't want to lose too much of the detail. What a wild looking creature that is. I'm just going to throw in some ink like that. Because I know where roughly the spines or the fingers, I guess, of the wings would be. I've always considered the wings of dragons to be kind of like arms, and then these here would be the fingers that would control the wings, you know what I mean? But I don't know, I didn't design this, so. Not my dragon. So, do many of you plan on seeing this movie? I hope more than two. I think the movie theater is a great way to experience a movie. In a lot of ways, these big epic movies are designed that way, as if they were expecting you to go see it in the movie theater. Big sound and all that kind of stuff. And of course they want you to have the movie for home too, and not everyone can go to the movie theaters, and I get that. Especially in this day and age, it is certainly not an inexpensive thing to head off to the movies. So I may see this one. I'm not sure yet. Come on, more water, please. More water. Now, is it weird that when they do movies, that they treat them like remakes and they have to give you the origin story again? I'm not really a big fan of that, because if you're already familiar with the story, it's nice if you can kind of move past that thing. And that was kind of like an annoying part of like some of the Spider-Man movies. It's like, oh, okay, we have to watch him get bit by a spider again. Oh, we have to watch him have to, deal with his Uncle Ben and that sort of thing. And I don't know if that was necessary, like the character's been around for, 60 plus years. You don't really need to have an origin story again, but every director wants their take on it or whatever. So, will this movie be like that too, where you have to, I mean, we kind of already know it is going to be like that. They're going to have to do some sort of an origin thing, and all those Vikings are not going to be fans of dragons right from the very beginning. I'm going to have to do something a little bit different with the eyes of this, because I think we might be better off going for like super eyes. I'm going to set this aside for a moment, the water. I'm going to dip here. The head should already be reasonably dry, but we're going to kind of treat him with squinty eyes because I didn't leave the room for that to happen. It's not going to be perfectly dry, but it'll allow us anyway to get some detail in here. So yeah, I didn't see any like behind the scenes stuff with these movies, so I can't say, well, for sure the look of this creature is based on this and this and this and whatever, so I don't really know. So any of my rambling is just basically rambling. Let's do the other eye. In a way, when I heard that they were working on this movie, my hope was that they were going to move it down the line in history so that they could get the voice actors, or some of the voice actors, actually to play the live action characters. So Jay Baruchel does the voice of Hiccup in the movies, and I thought, well, that would be a great opportunity to bring in that actor who's an actor. And yeah, anyway, well, they didn't. Let's see. kind of cat-like. Kind of salamander-like. Kind of Muppety. Muppet. I'm a big fan of the Muppets. Huge fan of the Muppets, actually. They're amongst my favorite happy place. What's that, Neville? It's been over 20 minutes. Yeah, I know. We're not going to spend a long time on this. Yeah, no, I'm a big fan. Big fan. Now, because I kind of look for patterns, I kind of know that there's like 10 teeth on the bottom row. Kind of. Something like that anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. Now I'm going to do a little trick here where I'm going to see about working in a little bit of gums, but I'm going to make sure they're super dark after. Again, this is kind of my take on what's going on here. So this doesn't have to be a very specific Night Fury. It doesn't matter that much. So you're not really going to notice all of it. There'll just be little hints in there rather than just the white paper. Try to keep it darker up towards the top and in the corners. We don't have to see a tongue or anything like that. A little freaked out that the Burger King mask here is kind of looking at me. If I'm being honest, it's my fault. I brought it out. That's what happens. Okay. I don't know what I think of that. Maybe because I said Muppet so many times, that's why it kind of looks a little more like a Muppet. that, in some weird way, looks like a golf divot tool in the center of his, well, off the crown, I suppose. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. I kind of want these eyes to be a little bit angrier. Well, it's interesting anyway. I think that's the fun thing of just sitting around with your sketchbook. Get some weird things that just sort of pop out. That's the rough idea, I think. What I'll do is I'll add just a little bit of scale to the forearms. Maybe some shade there. A little bit over here as well. Just doing circles basically. Although I'm changing it up a little bit with sort of a fish scale thing there too. Just loops like chainmail, which I guess is what you could kind of treat this like. Well, you know, I don't mind it. It's not my favorite. It's one of those things that, you know, I'm sure if I practiced it, really looked at the characters instead of just like, you know, this video game cover, I'd probably be better off. Now, before I truly abandon this, we're going to have to try to figure out what to do with these eyes. And I'm going to use a couple of different colors, I think. I'll drop a marker on the floor. So, I'm going to start off with yellow. I'm going to do that right around the pupil mainly. Then a very bright green. I'm just going to put in some little streaks, which will disappear once I put the other green to it, but I want some of these in that yellow. Then I have an earthy kind of green, which I'm going to work on the outside just a little bit. Put into the corners. Makes them a little more moody. We're at about 35 minutes. Now, just going to kind of blend that a little bit. Go back in for some final sort of touches. And yeah, I'm just going to kind of lightly work in some more darkness around those eyes. This will bug me here, so I'm just going to draw that out just a little bit. And I do believe I don't really need to go that much further than that. I didn't spend time researching this, so just based on what I have around in front of me, video game box. Okay, well, I think that's probably going to be it. I'll change the mouth just a little bit more. Darken the sides in just a little bit too. Anyway, that's a rough idea. All right, folks. I think that's all I'm going to do with that for now. Anyway, so yeah, well, no, June 13th, new movie. Hopefully it'll be pretty good. And yeah, thanks for hanging out for a minute or so, because this is kind of fun. I don't know why I just did that. Okay. Well, that's it. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and hopefully we'll see you again sometime soon. All right. Ciao for now.